Hi everyone, welcome to your pick a pile reading, and today we will be discussing how a long distance relationship would work out with you guys. So, this is actually a comment left on the last video, so if you guys have any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. Also, I apologize in advance, I'm kind of fighting off a cold, so it might be a little bit difficult to understand me in bits, but I'm trying my best. But if you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload these pick-a-pile videos on Sundays. And like I said before, if you guys have any suggestions, please leave them in the comment box below. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description. So, pile number 1 is the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. Pile number 2 is the Ludi Lescott Tarot, and pile number 3 is the Kawaii Tarot. And with that being said, I'll give you guys some time to choose if you haven't already, and if you have, then I'll go straight on to pile number 1. All right. So, for pile number 1, we are discussing how a long-distance relationship would work out between the two of you guys. Between you and a partner. Also, just as a heads up, sometimes the cards flip around in the deck. I do see them, however, I usually don't take them unless they come out, jump out. And I'm going to try to get 2 more cards for you guys. And we can get started on your overall energy. I'm going to go ahead and put this card in the upright since it's your overall energy. But your overall energy here is the 2 of Cups, which to me tells me that you guys may be dealing with a soulmate, right? Especially since we have the Lover's card here as well. So both of those things are very good signs, especially if you guys are dealing with any kind of relationship that has had history in the past, right? The Lover's card as well as the 2 of Cups usually talk about very high level relationships. So something that's very typical in those kinds of relationships are very difficult lessons that you need to learn, right? So it could be possible that one of these lessons is having to learn how to trust your partner in difficult situations, especially since I see the Devil card here in reverse. And the Devil card is always very interesting to dissect in every individual tarot deck because the interpretations can be wildly different, right? But I definitely get a sense of sexuality here from this card. And I think that when you are engaging in a long-distance relationship, there's sort of this fear that your partner may be unfaithful. But the 2 of Cups and the Lover's card are 2 very strong sort of cards of reassurance here that that's probably not what's going to happen. Especially since we have the Ace of Swords. I feel like especially if you've been in a situation where that's happened in the past, this time around things might be different because the Ace of Swords talks about new beginnings in clarity, right? And I also see the 6 of Wands along with the Seven of Pentacles, right? So the Seven of Pentacles talks about planting your seed and watering it and watching it grow, right? And with the Six of Wands, you have victory. So those two energies together tells me that you guys are really going to see a lot of success coming forth, right? And then the Knight of Pentacles talks about stability. He's one of the slower, or rather the slowest moving knight in the deck, but he comes forth with stability. He comes forth with a clear message, and he knows what he wants in the long run, right? And I feel like this all culminates on this left side here with the Judgment card in reverse, right? So I'm looking here at the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups features prominently three people, right? So I feel like that's one of those concerns that were here in the relationship. But I don't see there being three people, especially with the Six of Wands. I feel that your partner is going to be faithful. And this Judgment in reverse almost feels like you guys are learning not to be too judgmental or too suspicious of your partner, and sort of letting go and loving unconditionally. So I see good things. However, I do, want to reaffirm that if you guys do end up having relationship troubles, to treat them with the sort of respect and gravity that they deserve. So obviously, if this person has cheated in the past and makes you feel uncomfortable at those things. Also, I'm looking at my clock in the real world right now, and it's 111, so you guys might be seeing synchronicities. But like I was saying, definitely establish your boundaries and talk it through, because these things take a lot of communication. But that was your reading for pile number 1. And you guys are more than welcome to go back and pick another pile, but if you enjoyed, please leave a like or a comment. It really helps out the channel, and I personally really love to know if these readings resonate. But I hope to see you guys next time for next reading. Okay, hi, pile number 2. I don't know if you guys want to scroll back and look at how these last 4 cards came out, but they all flew right out all together. So I feel like you guys are really experiencing some very powerful energy right now. But your overall energy right now is the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords isn't always a pretty energy to have, but I feel like it's a little bit evened out by the fact that you have the Eight of Swords and the World card, as well as the Justice, right? So the 8 going into the 9 shows us that there is progression. So from the 9, you guys can comfortably go into the 10. Well, comfortably isn't the best word to use, because the Ten of Swords is a very difficult card to have, but rest assured that you are at the end of this sort of journey, right? I feel like for a lot of you guys right now, you're very stressed and worried about what is going to happen. Things are very difficult and very stressful right now. The Nine of Swords talks about not being able to sleep at night, and I feel like a lot of you guys might have very difficult anxiety and a hard time sleeping. But I see here with the World card that there's going to be a huge change. And especially with this Justice card, there's going to be a change that benefits you, because I feel like you've been wronged in the past with your experience in relationships. But this whole anxiety over not being sort of within distance to see what's going on with your partner is, I feel, coming to an end, especially since the Justice card. I keep coming back to this Justice card, right? I feel like there are issues, and I do see some of the more negative aspects, because the Nine of Swords, again, is anxiety. The Four of Swords is rest, so I feel like that might be somebody who is sort of walking away, or sort of pulling away, I should say. Especially with the Four of Pentacles, because the Four of Pentacles talks about keeping resources to yourself. And those two cards combined makes me feel like this person isn't entirely open, and sort of wants to keep to themselves a lot. And that can be very difficult in this kind of a relationship, because it takes a lot of communication, right? The relationship is primarily communication. And with this Eight of Swords here, you feel very tied up because of this, because you can't really maintain the kind of communication or relationship that you want. So I feel like in the past, that sort of led to a lot of breakups, because you have this Nine of Pentacles, right? And the Nine of Pentacles is my single and ready to mingle card. So I feel like that's been your MO in the past. But now this person, to me, feels a little bit different, right? Because we have this King of Wands. And the King of Wands feels very different right here than this Four of Pentacles energy. I feel like it's a stark contrast. And with this World card and this Justice card, I feel like this person wants to treat you the correct way. And that's their plan with the Three of Pentacles. Or sorry, the Three of Wands. It's just a matter of going through with the process, because it's very difficult and it takes a lot of trust. And here with the World card, I feel like it could be a sort of like a play on words. Like, this person wants to give you the world, but there's a distance here. Like, you guys could be almost a world apart, you know. I'm getting it for some of you guys in this group. It's a lot farther away than maybe like a couple hours drive. I feel like this might be a different country or a different part of the world for a lot of you guys. But whatever it is, I feel like you guys are going to receive justice in the end. So it feels like a positive reading, even though you guys have had a lot of negative experiences in the past. But that was your reading for pile number 2. You're more than welcome to go back and choose another pile if you want. And if you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or a comment, because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Pick a Pile readings on Sunday. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings. And with that, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading. All right, hi, pile number 3. I don't know if you guys want to go back and look at the shuffling, but these cards did go and, in a lot of cases, violently jump out. So I feel like you guys might be dealing with a lot of strong energy for sure. And here, the thing that strikes me the most is this Star card. I feel like you guys right now are in wishful thinking mode, but not necessarily in a bad way. I feel like you guys really want a relationship with this person, and you're really willing to put in the work for it, and I feel like the other person is as well. So I'm looking at your reading proper, and you have the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords has the tendency to be a little bit on the cold side, right? Sometimes. But I feel like this person has a lot of ways of dealing with that, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like this person likes to pull away a lot and not say things that they'll regret later on, sort of in the heat of the moment. And I feel like that might come off as a lot, like that might come off as concerning to you guys, because one of the key components to a long distance relationship is the fact that you guys need to communicate, right? Because basically, when you're in a long distance relationship, the whole relationship revolves around communication. That's not to say that regular relationships don't revolve around communication, but I feel like it's even more so important in a long distance relationship. And something to note, I don't see a whole lot of travel cards. And the reason I bring that up is because the death is in reverse, right? So I feel like this person might have to stay stationary for a longer period of time. So that's something you guys are going to need to be, I feel like, something that you guys should know, right? And I'm looking at this Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords oftentimes talks about betrayal and heartbreak and backstabbing, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels almost like the Ten of Swords in reverse. It's as if this person wants to avoid that, especially with this Three of Wands. It's like they've made a plan to sort of avoid that at all costs, and they've put it into motion. And I feel like you guys have had a conversation about it at this point. Like, this reading is definitely for someone who's a little bit later on in the stages of this relationship. And I feel like you've, to some extent, already set your boundaries and sort of talked about it. And they've said, well, this is what I have. I want to do this, this, and this. And I have this, this, and that intentions or whatever. And I feel like they're good intentions, because you have the Four of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. So the Four of Wands is my commitment level up card, and oftentimes it's called the marriage card, right? So I feel like this person wants to play the long game with you. I feel like they want to have sort of that happy marriage situation for sure. And I'm looking at this Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles is the let's work on it together card. So I feel like for sure this person, I want to say the word dead set, but I don't know why that doesn't quite feel right. It's almost as if this person has like a head over heart decision to do right now, and they really want to come forward and be with you. I'm getting job or military for a lot of you guys. Like, this person might be stationed at a military base, or this person might have a job in a different state, country, or part of the world. And I feel like they've done a lot of work to get there, and that's why they don't want to kill that off with the death card, right? So there's sort of this level of, well, I want to be with you, I just can't right now. And with this Page of Swords, the message is coming forth, but it almost to some degree feels a little bit immature. So it's very difficult. Whenever you see the Page of Swords, to me it feels like a message that they may be a little bit more blunt with this, and that might rub you the wrong way, but I feel like in the end, they have good intentions. It's just that it might not be worded the best way. Especially since they have this Queen of Swords and this Page of Swords. It might be some rocky communication, but they have good intentions. But that was your reading for this pile number 3. You're more than welcome to go back and choose any other piles. But if you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or a comment, because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Pick a Pile videos on Sundays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings. And with that, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.